Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Today, I followed President William Ruto's trip in Kitale. And for the first time, there's some two political observations I made there. And I know most of you must have, if you are busy, you didn't manage to follow up. I want us to pay some attention to this incident in Kitale. When the president started his tour there, when he started, one of the things I realized on affordable housing is that, and I think, let me look at that later. Let me start with this. For better part of this 2024, when William Ruto started going to the people and going to ground, he's been selling this agenda on remote ICT jobs. And I think yesterday I mentioned to you that it's good. It has a potential. There is a big potential in the digital space. So yesterday, there was a presentation that was done. Today, he was again in Kitale and another presentation was done. Now, I followed today because the gentleman who spoke to the president today said something that I think most of us need to pay attention to. And I am glad that even government officials who have been talking about these remote jobs were there, because he pointed out the challenge with the remote jobs. I wanted to watch this video. It was a skit, but within that skit is where that aspect came out.
What would you want me? How would you want me to support what you're doing?
I think the biggest challenge is resources, because if we don't have resources, that means we'll not learn anything.
Resources is?
Computer, internet, workspace. If we have like ICT hub like this one, let's say in each county, or maybe in each constituency, many youth will benefit from this, because it's really working, and I can testify it's working.
So you want internet?
Internet, computers, and a furnished room like this.
And a place?
Yes.
So, and you're suggesting that maybe in as many places as is practically possible,
yes,
we deploy this?
Yes, because if it works for us here in Kitale, that means it will work anywhere else in this country.
Okay.
Yes.
I was in Nandi County yesterday and in one of our institutions, and he was telling me, another gentleman called Brian was telling me exactly what you're telling me. And therefore, you are saying that, are you aware, for example, that we now have a plan, just to answer to your question,
yes,
of resources? You saw in our manifesto,
yes,
there was a big number 5 plan on digital superhighway, meant to accelerate the deployment of digital infrastructure, fiber optic,
yes,
across Kenya. And that we have now changed the law on CDF so that we can do exactly what you are saying, that in every ward we have an ICT hub like this, maybe slightly bigger than this, and we are looking at between 300 or thereabout young people like yourself, in every ward, in every ICT hub, doing exactly what you're doing. Right?
Yes.
So that is the plan, and that's why apart from this community ICT center, we have another 5, and we have now how many?
102.
102 within the Tibet institutions.
Yes.
And we are now building up to 1,450. Yeah, in every ward in Kenya. That's the plan we have.
That's really good.
In that plan, is there anything additionally you think I need to do?
More of so
I'm asking because now you have a limited place,
yes,
where you can get a job.
Yeah.
So you're saying, from where I sit, we should diversify the places where you can
yes, for instance,
have access to work.
Exactly. If we can get a bigger clientele, if you can get a bigger clientele who actually will buy from us through this platform, or maybe directly through other projects that will come directly to the wards, that will be better. Because many people will have access to these skills. But again, if they not have any job to do, then that means they'll just end up again being in the street. So it's better. We have the facility, yes, but if we have that big clientele, actually the demand now, because the skills is there now, the market that we will sell these skills, that will be really great.
Okay, so I have been to different countries. I've been to Germany, where you are talking about.
Yes.
I've been to the US, I've been to Canada, and we are trying to expand.
So that gentleman is saying something that yes, it has a potential, but we can train all these people. But if we don't get the market, the pull of the market for those skills, then the young people might end up going back to the street. So, and the reason why I took some interest is when William Ruto was talking about these jobs, there is something he presented, and there is something he was saying that Amanda, UK, Germany, Saudi Arabia, going to look for jobs. There is a difference. The jobs that the president was looking in those other areas are not these jobs. They're actually other jobs. These are doctors, exporting teachers, doctors, and other professionals. But on remote jobs, you work here, you get to the software, you get to this app. If it is online writing, you buy the account and you start doing the assignments. Now, when he drove to Kitale town, he made two speeches. He made a speech and said two things. Number one, asking those who are in public land belonging to Kenya prisons, that they want to move Kenya prisons from Kitale town to some remote area, so that where Kitale prison is sitting, they build some houses. Okay, something that we are waiting. Let's see how that will work out. But while addressing the speeches, he gave the microphone to the politicians. And when one leader there, I can't remember the name, I think Sampokose, he was addressing the crowd and people started heckling. Actually, that leader was talking about something on UDA, politics, and how they need to be taken. And immediately, the cameras went off.
Na zaidi ya yote, Mheshimiwa Rais, hapa Trans Nzoia, sikiza kwanza wewe, hapa Trans Nzoia, mimi kwa sababu umenipatia kazi ya director, Your Excellency, kazi ya director mimi naenda mara moja kwa mwezi, na nataka kusaidia wabunge wako wakusaidie kazi kule bungeni. Mimi Your Excellency nataka kukusaidia kazi ya UDA. Nimesimama chairman ya UDA mimi na Bokose. Si namna hiyo? Si mnasimama na Bokose? Na situpige kura hapa. Chairman wa UDA Trans Nzoia County ni nani? Chairman wa UDA Trans Nzoia ni nani? Rais andike barua. Aniandikie barua. Na Your Excellency, nataka tena niseme watu wetu wengine ambaye hawakupata kazi, Your Excellency, ambaye walitusaidia. Tuko hapa na Caxton niweze kumkumbuka. Tuko na MCS wetu kutoka Saboti wakumbuke. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki sana. Mmefurahi? Tuimbie rais wimbo moja kama siku ile. Tuimbe. Rais wetu tena. Rais. Asanteni sana.
Trans Nzoia oye! Trans Nzoia oye! Mheshimiwa Rais, karibu sana hapa kwetu. Karibu sana hapa kwetu Mheshimiwa Rais. Hiyo tabia mbaya ndio mtawacha.
So I've tried to ask around, and someone was telling me that okay, it's normally very easy. Even me, my background, I started as a camera person. By the way, I started huko nyuma hiyo kamera before nikuje mbele. It's very simple. What has happened there? Ni you don't even need to cost the attention. Unachukua tu mkono yako unafunika lens. If you realize amefunika tu lens na mkono hivi. See, the sound is going on. The only thing you're seeing is darkness. There is nothing. Hakuna kitu ati sijui camera. It's not even a battery. It's not a mechanical thing. Simple. When people started heckling, they just did cut that live stream. And after some time, after you live stream imekatika hapo. And if you check that video, realize that that's where the live stream ended. Immediately that heckling started. Because remember, it had started with that MP, with that leader, and there were some other speakers who were going to speak. And he realized that the ground was actually becoming hostile, even for some of his leaders. Now, let me say this. Ruto is so much keen on these things. He knows these things because in Nakuru, there was a heckling. There was heckling, and the president's team were the ones that were actually on ground and covered the video. In their live stream, they had the incident where Kihika was heckled. People were even complaining that why did they even release that video? It was a live stream. So I think they are under strict instructions that whenever there is heckling starting in the public, you must make sure you cut off the live stream, because there is something president want to avoid. And that is what I want to explain here. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Thank you very much for your support, those who support us across the political, all over the country. We don't take it for granted. Ruto knew very well that something on this heckling is something he didn't want it to go public. And maybe quite a number of people might not realize that video. But the speech ended there. The live stream ended there. I tried asking some journalists, because we try asking the other mainstream journalists who are actually, the reporters who are actually there, and no one seems to have a clear picture, because wanasema immediately actually things stopped there. And the speeches even ended there. There is no any other speaker who then spoke after that. Because, he also knew that the person who was talking to the heart of local UDA politics in Trans Nzoia. And when you give that leader, the other person you're going to give the microphone to speak is going to also speak along the same line. Now, there's something that Ruto is avoiding. The heckling matches is something that I think is irritating him. And the heckling is irritating him because of these three observations I want to make. The publicity of heckling is showing his dwindling popularity. The more the media is covering incidences where he's heckled, when the opinion poll bodies and the intelligence team that follow the president, what do you interpret? You interpret heckling as people that are dissatisfied with the president's team, with what the president is saying. So he has to try all means to ensure that these incidences of heckling do not come. That's it. The heckling incidences are showing his dwindling popularity. And this is because the media is also amplifying. Yes. No, it's not just us. If you check mainstream, when some of these heckling incidents happen, they make news headlines, even the print media and even the mainstream media outlets. So he knows very well that that is already hurting the image of President William Samoei Ruto. Number three, the hostility. While you may want to interpret it as local politics are at play, but the fact that Kenyans are protesting are heckling a leader in front of President Ruto, they are telling William Ruto a message. We don't want this. We don't want this person. Because these leaders have been there. They're normally there even when the president is not there. I believe they attend funerals, they attend events, they attend harambes. They have been in the community. But why is it that this day when the president is around is also the day these leaders are being heckled? So president knows very well the hostility shown in this heckling is a clear vote of no confidence on him. It is not about those lower cadre leaders. The protest is actually on him as President Ruto. And that is why, by all means, whatever it takes, he must make sure that this is something that is stopped. Now, lastly, the number 3, the other possibility why that really happened here is maybe the security details are under instruction to neutralize some of these hecklers. Can be dealt a blow, by the way. Let's assume you are heckling somewhere in the ground and the president's security are there. Are they going just to stare? No. There is a possibility that cameras are turned off. Immediately cameras go off, live stream is cut, then the security details will actually descend on you. So, and by the way, if you know why politicians want to have the security, the cameras, or rather with the live stream, and even the opposition team keep on doing it, is because apart from the publicity, you will know, even if you are going to a place, even if Raila is going to Turkana, even if Raila is going to Garissa, you will always want to have your cameramen with the journalists around you because they also serve as part of your security. Apart from accountability of knowing that, you know what, Raila is here. When everything is happening in front of the camera, it will not be very easy for people even to misbehave. Yes. It will not be very easy for people to misbehave when the cameras are on. So this aspect, and of course, but the president has the privilege of very advanced security. Of course, is protected by Reka Squad. So him is not about security issue. It's about publicity. Now, I want to tell you a short story. In 2015, the very first story I did, I was still an intern. I covered something called Firimbi Operation. So Firimbi Operation was this operation, the Okoa Kenya team. You remember the Okoa Kenya initiative, and there were protests of IBC must go. So it used to happen uko kwa Anniversary Towers. I don't know, that's where the IBC offices are, and it was to remove Isaac Hassan. That free operation used to start. We used to go first, mnaenda hadi Upper Hill. Hey, manze. Mimi pia nimeng'ang'ana kidogo. So we used to go to Upper Hill. And as I told you, my work I was more on the camera space. Do you know what the instruction was very clear that you had to be in front of Baba if you're a camera person. Why? Apart from us showing the country what's going on, you also had to protect Baba. Because when the cameras are on, nothing can happen. So that is bit of it. But I don't think physically suppressing heckling might be the solution. I think what the president needs just to understand is answer the questions the public are asking. Thank you guys. Let's meet in the next.